Hi, everyone joining us. We're going to get started in just about a minute here. Just let everybody kind of filter into the room, and then we'll go ahead and get started.
Thank you for joining us on the webinar today to discuss Connect 365. My name is Derek Miller, and I'm the president of the International Housewares Association. Joining me today is Liana Salama, Vice President of Marketing for IHA. We're extremely excited to release Connect 365 to the industry in the coming weeks. Connect 365 is the 2.0 version of Housewares Connect 365, a digital directory that was created about 15 years ago.
Thanks, Derek. So as Derek mentioned, 365 was created about 15 years ago, and it's really picked up in relevance. A lot of times in the past, it was used as a show directory or search tool. But what we've seen in the last year is an enormous amount of growth on Housewares Connect 365 to the tune of almost 30% increase in users, almost 34% increase in the number of sessions. So what we're seeing is that the industry, the marketplace, is really looking for an online tool like this, where they can find products, brands, exhibitors, et cetera, in absence or in addition to a physical trade show. So the new Housewares Connect, the new Connect 365 is going to, this is the phase 2, as it were. Phase 1, we're going to talk about a little bit later. I know that's backwards, but phase 1 is where all of our members and exhibitors can go in and populate their assets. Phase 2 is where we actually release the front-facing product to the industry. So I'm going to kind of show you what the front-facing product is going to look like, and then Derek's going to take us through the back end on how you can go in and start to populate your brands, your assets, your products, et cetera. So this is what the homepage of Connect 365 will look like once it rolls out. So you see that what you have is, a kind of a hero image that features maybe a collection of products. You have the ability to register, which is really important and something that's not part of Housewares Connect 365 today. Right now, that is an open platform. So while we know that folks are using it, we don't necessarily have as much information about the specific folks who are using it. We're going to change that moving forward. We're going to create an account-based system that will allow us to understand and track actually who is looking at the site, what they're viewing, and start to gather some data and intelligence that will allow us to do some matchmaking and some understanding of what types of products different types of retailers are interested in. But you'll notice that on the homepage, there's the opportunity to register, and then there's a collection of featured products that will appear. This will start out as a random collection of products, and will eventually, once we get more data into the system, will be updated to reflect the preferences or the interests that the user, the retailer, has indicated that they have. There's also an area where you can explore by category. So part of what we've tried to do here, in addition to creating an account-based system, is create a site that's very browsable. The Housewares Connect 365, as it exists today, is very search-oriented. You kind of go in and you're searching for a specific exhibitor, for a specific category of product. This allows the user to come in and just kind of browse. They can either go directly to a search function, or they can just explore and see what's out here. So as I mentioned, there is a registration process. So when a retailer wishes to register for access to the site, they will click on the Create Account button, and this pop-up window will come up. Very simple. They put their email address in, create the account, and then they'll answer a series of questions similar to what they would answer when they register for the Inspired Home Show. So things including, what type of establishment they're with, what types of product interests they have, job title, et cetera. If they already have an account, then this will prompt them to sign in so that as an authenticated user, they can go deeper into the site. So once logged in, the user will have access to a number of different types of pages. So at the top level are the company or exhibitor level pages. So this is, it could be a parent company, could be an individual company, depending on how you're set up. But within the exhibitor top level page, what you have is you have information about the overall company. including contact information, catalog downloads, whatnot. And then what we've added is the ability to drill down by brands that that company owns, or by products that are associated with that company. In addition, and I had to break this up into multiple screenshots because it is long, down at the bottom, there's the ability to add in different types of media. So whether it's coverage that you've received in publications or online, if there's videos that you want to put in here that are promotional in nature, or any of that can all be housed on this page and is accessible to an authenticated user. So drilling down one level into the brand level, so we've used Uni as an example here, and so everyone understands these are mock-ups. So certainly Uni is not a honey can do brand, but we've just tried to place things in a way that show what's possible with this kind of layout. So here you're seeing Uni's brand level page. So it talks specifically about that brand and then products related to that brand. In addition, once again, there are media opportunities, videos, any kind of media coverage can all be placed in here so that folks can browse through that as well. And then going final level deeper is the product page. So from that brand page, or even from the exhibitor page, you can drill down into a specific product and get more information down to specifications about that product in and of itself. Now, again, as an authenticated user, one of the features we've built in is the ability to favorite products, to save them to a collection the way you might on a Pinterest, for example. So that's kind of what you're seeing over on the right, this little window where if you click on favorite, you'll be able to add it to your account so that you can earmark that for later.
I did want to point out that if you have questions during the webinar today, feel free to include them in the chat function within Zoom. We'll do our best at the end of the commentary to answer as many questions as possible. We now want to transition a bit in order to show you the back end of the system. This is how and where you'll be logging into the system in order to create, to update your content. And again, this is phase one of the program, which is now active. So let me share my screen. Okay, you should be seeing the inspiredhomeshow.com website. This is a real good way to log in. Each one of our exhibiting members has a show contact, someone within your company that is responsible for the direct relationship with IHA. That individual, I'm sure, has been into the IHA system many times, but I'm going to show you how you can access it via the website. From our homepage, theinspiredhomeshow.com, you can see there is a section called Home and Housewares Connect. If we simply click on Learn More, that's going to take us to a landing page, which is theinspiredhomeshow.com/connect, and you'll see 4 different icons at the bottom. So right now we're talking about Connect 365, so we're going to click on the Connect 365 logo, and that takes us to this specific landing page. Obviously, there is the webinar information that we're actually on right now at the top, and then I want to point out this large green box that says exhibiting members. If we click on Access Account, this is going to take you to the IHA system where you're going to be able to log in to access the back end. So I'm just going to go ahead and log in. And it's going to take us to a menu of options. At the very top, you will see Connect 365 Update is the first thing within this list. I'm simply going to click on Connect 365 Update. It takes me to this landing page. And what I'm going to look for now is this blue bar, Update your Connect 365 profile. And I click that, and it's now going to take me into my specific Connect 365 landing page that's completely editable. And this is complete test data, so I have some fake logos and brands here just for purposes of this example. I do want to point out, because this is phase 1, it is active, there are certain functions within this page that are phase 2 that are not active. So if you're trying to click on Save to Collection or some of these schedule buttons, they're not going to work. If you're going to go into and click on products, trying to learn more about a product, as of today, that's not going to work as well. Clicking on brands today will bring something up, but it's not a finished product. Just want to point that out. And for those of you who might be watching this recorded, as when I say today, I'm talking about Wednesday, February 24th. So we're going to take a look in three different sections. This top section is where we're going to put in our corporate information, our logo, our company description, contact information, and so forth. There's a button at the top right that says Edit Details. If I click on that button, it's going to take me to a screen where I'm able to modify my logo, my description, or contacts. So this is the logo page. I click on the description. You simply enter your description into the box here, and contacts, whether it be social media links or all of your different representatives. So I'm going to close out. And we'll go back to this landing page. I want to point out these two badges that fall underneath the description: independent retail friendly and export friendly. Those will appear and they will help within the functionality and the search capabilities within the site. These get added through the brand and the product level. So let's look at that. To update or to add brands, we're going to come into the brand section, and you'll notice a manage brands and products button here in green. If I click that, it's going to bring me to a page where I can start to edit. So I have four brands that have already been entered. And under each one of these brands, I have four different boxes: name and description, contact information, digital assets, and edit products. By clicking on any one of those, so click on name and description, I'm simply able to change my name as well as put in my brand description. I can also click on these different buttons: export friendly, independent retail friendly, made in the USA, and so forth. When I click these, this is what's going to control what's going to show on that home page just below the product description, those badges that I talked about. Contact information. This information is if your brand has different contact information that we've already entered at the corporate level. So if you're a larger company and you have specific brand managers that's different than what's already been entered, you would want to put that information in here. If you're a smaller company, you don't have different people for different brands, then just leave this blank and the corporate information will be carried forward. And the same is true for social accounts in the brand URL. Digital assets, this is where you're going to put in your logo for the brand, but you can also upload catalogs, videos, and news that are specific to this brand. And then ultimately, you're going to want to put in your products. So I clicked on that edit products, and you can see that brand has three different products that are now editable. I'm going to go back one level. We'll go back to the home page. So I can click on my logo or home. And I'm going to go back into manage brands and products. I want to show you the button where you're going to add a new brand. So if I wanted to fill out this fifth box, I click on manage brands. And at the very top is add brand. If I click that, it's going to take me to a section where I'm going to be able to put in my name and my description. You have to set that up first before you can then go into contact, digital assets, and add any products. Okay, so I'm just going to go back one level. And we're going to just dig into products a little bit deeper. So for this first brand, if I want to edit my products, I simply click on edit products. My products are here. If I wanted to add a new product, I'm going to click on this button here that's in orange. And it's going to walk me through the name, description, and so forth. So the product that's already been set up, if I wanted to modify or edit, I would click on general information, which is going to bring up my product name, the brand that it would fall under. If I need to change that, that's easily done. And again, if this specific product has different criteria than the corporate, you can refine that here. Product description and then product specifications. Digital assets are where you're going to be able to upload your different images, your catalogs, videos, and any news that are specific to that individual product. And product tags, these are incredibly important. This is how you're going to tell our system more information about how to categorize your product. Is it electric product or is it in home care? And then from there, you're going to be able to select keywords. This is incredibly important that you do this for every single product because it greatly assists in our search functionality. If you don't include this information, the search parameters will be very limited. Okay. So that's how we modify our brands and our different products. I'm now going to scroll down to the third different section that we have, recent news and featured videos. If you've been fortunate enough to have your product or brand or your company featured in a news article, this would be a fantastic place to post that. If you have videos, so you have a YouTube channel or you've done product demos, you would want to put them here. To add or edit, you're going to simply come to this section and click on edit, and it's going to bring us to a landing page. And it's going to default to exhibitor news. You simply take the URL from your exhibitor news story, you place it into this blank, click on add news article, and it will automatically populate. If you need to edit, you simply click on the edit button. If you want to do this for videos, you simply come up to the exhibitor video button, and you can see that I have 4 that have been added. And the same thing, you take your YouTube link or whatever the video link is that you might have, put it in, you put in your video title, add video, and it will automatically populate. Again, this is phase 1 functionality where you're able to add your products. Liana showed you the phase 2 functionality that will be released sometime in March. And again, some of these buttons right now are not going to show you anything, but in a few weeks, this additional functionality will be forthcoming. Okay. As I just stated, the plan to launch Connect 365 to the buying community is in March. Therefore, it's very important that you access your account and begin to upload your brands and products just as soon as you possibly can. If you have questions or you need some assistance, we do have staff members at IHA who are trained in this, and they would be very, very happy to help. Coming back to the web page that's on the screen, this is theinspiredhomeshow.com/connect. Excuse me, let me go back to that page. To get into the Connect 365 landing page, we'll click on the logo. And so now we're at theinspiredhomeshow.com/connect/connect-365. Again, we started off by clicking the access account, but I wanted to point out this video that's in the lower left-hand corner that says watch the demo. Clicking on this will take you to IHA's YouTube channel where there's an 11-minute video that takes you through the back end of the system, and it actually shows you how to add a brand, how to add a product, how to add a video, and so forth. So it goes through the same process that I went through, but in much more detail. And so I just want to point out that that could be a very valuable asset for you. I'm going to come back to the Connect page because I do want to go through a couple other different features that we are working on that are coming out in the month of March. Connect Commerce is very closely related to Connect 365. This is an e-commerce market that we're developing in conjunction with a third party called Brandwise. This Connect 365 is for every exhibiting member of IHA. Connect Commerce is only for those who want to engage in and e-commerce capabilities. There is a cost associated with the Connect Commerce platform, and so I just want to point this out. If you click on the landing page, it's going to give you some additional information about this program. And I want to point out two different links on the far right-hand side. The review the FAQs, which are just that, answers to a lot of questions that you might have about this program to determine if it's right for you. And then there's a Get Started button. This is going to take you to an agreement page where you are going to be able to actually activate your account. We did a webinar a week or so ago about Connect Commerce, and if you have some questions, would like to see that webinar, simply go to the review FAQs, and at the bottom there are a couple email addresses. Drop an email saying that IHA said that I could see the webinar, and someone will get back to you. Or you can reach out to any of us at IHA, and we would be happy to assist. A couple other opportunities that we're working on for the spring include Connect Spring. And so I'm going to click and go to the Connect Spring landing page. This is an event that's happening March 16th through the 26th. And it has really two different components. There is an educational component and a product demonstration component. Education focus around keynotes as well as general sessions. We have 4 keynotes that are planned, 2020 in the rearview mirror, the now normal, and so forth. If you want additional information about what the now normal is all about, simply click on view details, and that's going to give you a brief overview as well as speaker information. The spring sessions are our general sessions, and there are 9 different topics that we are going to be exploring. And again, the same ability to click on view details, and it's going to give you a greater description. The Market Watch and the virtual product demonstrations are both product demonstrations. Market Watch is focused on 4 different themes, and the virtual product demonstration are focused on the 8 themes that are on the screen. If you want to register for any or all of these sessions, you simply click on register, and it's going to take you to a page where you enter in your information, and then you simply, with the buttons, select the sessions that you would like to register for. If you're all in and you want to see every single one of the sessions, you can simply click this top button, and it will give you access to each one of the sessions. They're being run on Zoom webinars. By clicking this and hitting submit, you will receive an email for each of the sessions that's going to give you the specific Zoom detail login instructions. One other thing that I wanted to point out is the sponsorship opportunity. If you would like to get some additional brand awareness, we do have that as an ability. You can sponsor one of the educational sessions. The benefits of sponsorship are listed on the page. And the different sessions that you can sponsor are the 4 keynotes and then the 8 educational sessions. Additional information is here. If you're interested and you need to learn more, you would want to contact Adrian through this direct button. A lot of exciting things are planned, and we really hope that you'll all join us for some, if not all, of our Connect Spring event. The final program that we're working on this spring is Connect Grocery. Connect Grocery is a partnership that IHA is running in conjunction with GMDC. For those of you who are not aware, GMDC is a trade association like IHA, but they specifically work in the grocery field. We are doing speed dating through this session. Any brand who's interested is going to complete an application form. We're reaching out to the grocery retailers, and any retailer who's interested, they're completing a similar application form. Once we have the full list of our brands and the full list of our retailers, we'll then swap that information, and you'll have the opportunity to select the retailers that you would like to have a meeting with. The retailers will have that same opportunity. They will see the brands, and they will say, yes, I want to meet with these companies. Whenever we have a mutual match, we will then set the meeting up, and that meeting will take place. If there's not a mutual match, then the meeting won't be established. We certainly don't want to waste anyone's time if there's no desire to meet. To register, simply click on register now, and it's going to take you to the GMDC website. They are operating 3 different sessions in 3 different weeks. IHA is partnering with them on the 3rd week, which is specific to our houseware categories. The easiest way to register is to scroll to the bottom, and at the very bottom, you'll see 2 red bars, seller registration and buyer registration. Clicking on seller registration brings up a form, and when you say, are you a GMDC member, if you select no, it is going to bring up session number 3, IHA member companies representing housewares category. You say yes. You complete that information and you hit submit, and then you would be registered. This is how you would get access to the list of grocery retailers that are also participating. At this point, no money will change hands. It's not until you actually select a grocery account that you're interested in, and that grocery account selects the fact that they're interested in you, that the meeting would be established and any fee would apply. And the fee is $500 per meeting. I want to point out that the dates are April 20th through the 23rd, but the registration deadline is Friday. So we have just a couple more days. So if this is something that you're interested in, I would encourage you to dig into that a little deeper over the next couple of days. So thank you very much for joining us today. I hope that you now have a really better understanding of Connect 365 and many of the other digital opportunities that are being offered by IHA this spring. A recording of this webinar will be posted online on the Connect 365 landing page. That concludes the formal remarks, but Liana, I'm not sure if we have any questions that we can answer, and you're muted, by the way.
We sure do. So a couple of them right off the bat that have been asked by more than one person related to Housewares Connect 365 as it already exists. What information from there will be carried over to the new Connect 365 versus what needs to be added back in? And I'm happy to start the answer to that question, Derek, and you can chime in. The information that exists on your account for Housewares Connect 365, if you're a past exhibitor and do have that, that information loaded, it will port over to a degree, but the functionality and the features of the new site are so different than the previous site that it's not going to be a clean import. So what you'll find, for example, is that if you have brands just listed as text in Housewares Connect 365, you will need to go in and upload the logos and establish them as separate brand pages. So even with the information that will come over from the old system, there will still be some work that needs to be done. Next question, Derek, you could probably answer this. Questions about both brands and products and limits on how many of either can be added.
Yeah, we don't have limits. You can upload as many as you would like to have. There is a featured star for brands and products, and so if you have 20 brands, but you want to feature a set number on the home screen, you would click with the featured star to make those rise to the top.
Okay, a couple questions about batch imports of products. Can it be done via spreadsheet or anything like that, or are there plans to create that functionality in the future?
Yeah, at launch, that will not be a functionality, but it is something that we're working with our programmers on, so that we can use some type of a system to do a batch upload.
Let me look here. Is there a way to select more than one tag?
Meaning that they go into more than one product category? Is that?
I'm not sure. Let's maybe answer both the badges, tags, and the product categories.
Yeah. For product categories, you can only have one product category, but you can have multiple keywords. So one category, I think it's up to 5 keywords per product. For the badges, independent, retail friendly, export friendly, and so forth, you can select multiple, at both the exhibitor level as well as at the product level.
Hey, there are actually a couple questions on here about independent retail friendly in terms of what that means. So do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. There are companies that cater only to the mass market, that really don't have the capabilities to sell to in small quantities to small retailers, and so they wouldn't select that. But if you're an account or a company that does represent or sell to small retailers, by all means, you want to select that button. That will be a search functionality. So a small retailer is able to come in and only wants to work with companies that they know would be supportive to them. They would use that search functionality.
Okay. If we're planning to work with Brandwise for Connect Commerce, will the product information automatically be added to Connect 365? And I can jump in there. I know the answer to that is no. Unfortunately, the two systems do not talk directly to each other in terms of what's uploaded to it. We are creating some integration and connectivity between the two platforms, specifically on Connect 365 by creating buttons for on the exhibitor pages, brand pages, product pages. If those companies are also on Connect Commerce, we will create a one-click access to go directly to that storefront on Connect Commerce. But the upload process for information and assets for the two platforms are different and separate. Do the videos have to be YouTube videos? And on the news page, do you have the option to upload a cover or custom image?
The videos don't have to be from YouTube. You can put in whatever URL you would like to have, and it's going to that button will then direct to that URL. A custom image, that's a really good question. I don't believe that there's a functionality as of today. It's going to pull the image from the article's metadata and use that. But that is a real good question, and it's something that Leon and I will look into and see if that's something that we could add in the future.
Okay. Following up on that question, is it necessary, is it URL based for the videos? They need to be, you don't upload the native video file, you're
Correct.
entering a link.
It's
Right.
URL based.
Yeah. And there's no constraints, just to answer the rest of this question here, there are no constraints in terms of, length of video or anything like that. If it,
No.
um, let's see. Do brands need to turn in the 2021 space application in order to use Connect 365 function? Right now, every exhibitor who was signed up for 2020 and for 2021 has access to the platform. Are we able to recreate our profile with a new email address and start from scratch? This is a good question. It's not necessarily email based, it's company based according to what we have in our records. So it is certainly possible to start from scratch, but you would need to transfer, I guess, ownership or access of the IHA account that already exists to the person who wants to rebuild the page.
And if that question is from, you have some data that's in the old Housewares Connect 365 that's going to port over, and you really want to start with a clean slate, the data is going to port over, but I can say being able to delete information that might be ported over that's not accurate or not desirable is quite easy to do. And that shouldn't take you more than a couple minutes to do that.
A couple questions on accessibility. First one being, will it be only for retailers or media as well? Absolutely, it will be accessible to media as well as retailers. And the question about March, our hope is to, when in March it will be made accessible to retailers, our hope is to get it in front of them in conjunction with the Connect Spring event that we're doing in the second half of the month. That really depends on our membership. We need to have some degree of critical mass on there so that it's a good user experience for the retailers and they continue to come back. So the sooner we can get everyone on there and uploading images and assets and information, the sooner we can launch it out to the community. And Let me give you this one, Derek. Can brands be used for different product categories, or should we make one brand and later add multiple categories?
Say that question again.
Sure. Can brands be used for different product categories, or should we make one brand and later add multiple categories? I may be reading that incorrectly. I read that as, should we take the ability to create brands under a company name, and instead of creating brands, create category segments. I would not suggest doing that. I think that's going to give you a world of hurt in terms of search, and as people browse the site, it's going to be a little confusing to them. But Derek, you tell me what you think.
I would say if you're really trying to keep if you have one brand but you have products that fall in different categories, and when you want your buyer to go to a brand page that only sees products from a specific category, it would make sense to set it up that way with let's say one brand, multiple categories, but you're going to need to name your brand accordingly, so that it's very clear to the buyer that I'm looking at at brand A's bakeware line versus brand A's cookware line, let's say.
If you select independent retailer friendly, is there a place to put minimum order? I think there's not a dedicated place for it right now, but certainly as part of the text that you enter where you're describing your company, your brand, your product, you can add incremental information like that in there so that it's available. What is the difference between adding the videos at the product level versus the news and video level?
If you add it at the exhibitor level or the company level, it's going to be seen on the homepage and other places. If you add it at the product level, when a buyer goes to the product level, they're not necessarily going to see what was added at a different product or at the exhibitor level. And so adding a video at the product level is going to be more specific to that product. Everything bubbles up to the exhibitor landing.
Question about sponsorship. As a manufacturer, is there a way to sponsor our listing based on keywords to get more visibility? So that is what we would consider to be a phase 3. It's absolutely on our radar. And once the site is up and running, we will start to roll out opportunities to, promote listings, promote search the way, Google does pay-per-click, and to sponsor certain keywords. So stay tuned for that. That will be coming. How do you plan to promote this great website? And how do you plan to get very busy buyers to use the service? What I would say, I would go back to, kind of the slide that I presented in the beginning that says that there's clearly a demand for this. I mean, we've seen, almost 30% increase in users and sessions. So we know there's a demand out there, and it's our feeling that once we have something that has all of this increased functionality and, is even more browsable and searchable, that, the stickiness of the site will increase and that people will come back to it time and time again. So I can promise you an aggressive marketing campaign around getting retailers and media to use this site, to get them signed up, to get them active on it. And like I said, what we've seen is that we're creating something that the industry wants. So hopefully, a robust marketing campaign will do well.
And as we talk to buyers, the number one, I guess, issue that they're facing right now is product discoverability. And so, this site is being created really to solve that issue. And in a time frame when we really don't have physical trade shows that we can go to, the product discoverability online in an easy to use fashion is highly desirable.
And then related to that, how will you get buyers to see or view smaller vendors? I think there's a few different ways. Certainly there's the sponsorship opportunities we talked about. But in addition, we're really trying to do, and Derek mentioned the importance of the product categories for search functionality, but it's also really important for kind of the behind the scenes matchmaking that we'll be doing, which means that Once we have enough data to actually fulfill this, that homepage that I showed will actually look different for every retailer based on the interest that they've indicated, that they will actually be matched with different companies, different brands who are relevant to those different interests they have. So the featured products on my page might look very different from the featured products on Derek's homepage based on what we've put in there as our interests. So, and because it will be continually refreshed, it's not intended to be static. Our hope is that, every brand and company out there has an equal opportunity to be showcased to buyers who have already said that they're interested in the types of products and brands that they supply.
One thing I did want to point out, that's a little different between the business model that IHA is following versus some others in the industry is this is 365. We're putting this up as a member service, and it's going to be with us year round. Other people within the industry or groups within the industry have similar tools or adjacent industries where they're putting the data up for a 2 week period and then it goes away. And then, 6 months later, they're going to charge you, another, fee to have another virtual show that is going to last for 2 weeks and then it goes away. And that's just not the business model that IHA is following. We would rather, build this in as a member service, create something that's highly valuable, and have you upload and polish the data and keep it active and available to buyers year round.
If we're already using Brandwise, does it simplify the process? It sure does. Derek, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, Brandwise really has a couple different functions. They have accounts set up to disseminate information from companies to their sales teams, and then they have marketplace accounts. If you're already a Brandwise company and you need to establish a marketplace account, very easy to do, and your representative Brandwise can walk you through that in just a couple of minutes. If you are already a Brandwise marketplace account holder, you simply have, I think it's one radio button, submit, and you would be automatically entered into the IHA marketplace or Connect Commerce, and your data would automatically appear. So it does simplify the process, but I can say, working with Brandwise in and of itself is not complex.
Last question we have here, how can we view the Connect profile on the front end? So as Derek mentioned, with that it's not available just yet. We will certainly make that available to all of our members to view before it goes live to the retailers so that you can see what your profile is going to look like. But at the moment, that's actually the phase that we're building right now. So the HTML and CSS and everything that we have to do to pull the assets and information that you put into the back end to pull them forward appropriately for that front end look and feel that I showed earlier are still work in progress. And that is all we've got. So that's wonderful. Thank you all for being so engaged. We're really excited about this new site, about this new platform. It's going to take our membership to get in there and get involved and start to upload assets so that we can create a really dynamic and fantastic marketplace for the industry.
And as I said before, if you have questions, feel free to reach out to IHA at any time. We have people on our staff who are well versed in Connect 365, as well as our other programs, and we'd be very happy to help you get established. So thank you very much, everyone.
Thanks all.